So hello guys, and we are going straight into it, into our third match of the night. And well, we are gonna see Cakes versus Uber server. My name is Dax, joined with me, Rebirth. And what do you think about this upcoming match?
Honestly, when I've seen cakes like how they've screened against meme core, not really the best of sites, but we can see that they have put in the effort and they have actually improved compared from the invitation season.
Yeah, I gotta
For
say,
Ube,
go ahead.
yeah. For Ube though, looking at their lineup right now, they're actually missing their main tank, and missing the main tank is not really gonna help. So this may be a tough battle for them.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. It seems like we are gonna see a little bit of a variance actually for both teams. They're gonna be substitutes on board per se, and it seems like well for both Cakes as well team, uh, as Team Ubu server. These two teams are gonna be trying the best that they can, even though they don't have their maximum rosters. But from seeing their performance so far, they do have a lot of credence and a lot of gusto coming in between them. So anyway, we are gonna be getting back into the lobby, guys, and we are gonna be getting back into we're gonna be getting into our matchup itself, and it will be a solo show for me right now. Robert has to get to some attend into something very quickly, and before we get, of course, into our first match, which will be Lijiang Tower, we're gonna be showing you guys very quickly what's been going on in terms of the New Wave Invitationals playoff so far. As Washed Up Homies has to forfeit their match, they are going to be going on down to the lower bracket. Instead, it's Overwind, to the surprise of many, really impressive out of nowhere, getting that first victory on the board. And they are going to be moving on to face off against whoever wins this. And I it's a little bit of a rib right there, but Overwind has been proving to be one of the stronger teams in scrims, so I wouldn't be surprised if they could put a team like Washed Up Homies to the edge. But we won't find out now. Maybe we'll find out in the future. But looking into the lower bracket itself, Washed Up Homies gonna be waiting on for whoever loses this match, and we'll be facing them off in the first match in the lower bracket. We'll watch right there, just perched around, trying to see the results of round number 2. And back to the upper bracket. So tomorrow we will be featuring the upper bracket round 2 games: Wamanagi versus Meme Cord, Overwine versus whoever wins this next match, and whoever wins those two matches will be facing off in the upper bracket semifinals to find out who's going to be our first finalist of the tournament. So it seems like though we are gonna be getting ready to go. For Team Cakes, it's gonna be Roxy, Alexade, Shiver, Oily Beer, X Fatals, and Blackbeard. Versus side of Ubisar with Cockambear, Milson's Mercy Ferd, aka Ice Too Big, Sacred, and Karna. So a little bit of a name change there for Ubis server, a little bit of a role swap as well. But we already know the story of these two teams. Cakes having that exceptional Genji and Junkrat with Shiver and Oily Beer. Fatalist has been the god of all Annas so far in this tournament. And in the meantime, Ubis server having their Hog and the Farah. So it really is going to be the Milson's Mercy show alongside the rest of the crew. And we'll find out if Ubis server has been able to bring themselves up to a team kind of play. And it's Cakes picking up that first map as they are the third seed. Really exceptionally done by Cakes. They showed up out of nowhere in the regular season. They were our latest addition to the New Wave Invitationals, and they impressed with an 18-10 scoreline with a 4-3 match record to boot. Good enough for third place as we are going to be getting on into our first game. But all I gotta say is this is gonna be a pretty dicey, pretty interesting matchup. It is. It can be pretty close per se, and it's gonna be really interesting to take note of what is going to come in the first place. And hey, it's Lijiang Tower. Everyone knows how to play Lijiang Tower. Everyone loves playing Lijiang Tower. And this is just gonna be our last match of the night, ladies and gents. It's a quick one for day one. Tomorrow we're gonna have even a few better things to add into the stream, and this is the first wave playoff. So it's all good in the hood. We already know that there are going to be issues here and there with Overwatch and its clientele per se in the PH scene. But in any case, we are going to be looking to get into the matchup shortly thereafter. So anyway, what is the plan here? Seems like Uber server having a little bit of a disconnection. Hopefully everything is a-okay on their side, and if they do have a substitute in order. But Bear gonna be looking to reconnect. Since we haven't even started the game yet, this still counts as the pregame, so it's all okay. It's all good in the hood, and hopefully Uber server can bring it back. I miss Rebirth already. He's been my rock for so long, and I gotta give a big shout out to Rebirth, guys, because he has worked so hard on the New Wave Invitationals project. He brought in the stats and everything. He was the one keeping that up and the uppity up, even though he's been a very busy lad. And even with all his personal problems, he's doing the best he can and doing such a good job for the team, for the community. He not only does the stats, but he was basically in charge of all the scrims of all the teams. He got everyone to contact one another. He was the one who coached teams here and there, giving them some pointers and the like. And I gotta say, the performance of these players wouldn't be as good as they are today without what Rebirth has done. So big shout outs to Rebirth. Hopefully everything is a okay. We wish you were able to join us on BlizzCon, but that's just how it didn't pan out. And in any case, we are gonna be waiting on for Cakes and Ubi server to get ready. Also, big commendations to them. They weren't supposed to play at this time yet. They were willing to start early because of what happened to Watch the Homies. And hey, I gotta commend them. They had these ups and downs, especially for Ubi server. They had that really long streak before they got their mojo back up. And this might be the culmination of it. Will they finally be able to bring out what they have in the first place? Will they be able to bring out their maximum potential against Team Cakes? Because in all honesty, these are two teams that can go down to the wire, similar to Meme Court versus Overwatch, but we know how that panned out. So it might just be up to whoever scrim better, whoever has got more preparation, who understands the meta even more. And maybe here for Ubisoft, if they have a Genji player, this might be the one to turn things around, because someone needs to clash blades with Shiver. He's one of the better Genji mains in the PH scene. I gotta say, you put Calamity up on top first, and then Timora, because she's no more known for her Pharaoh and her Echo. But then you move on a little lower. You got Akashi, you got Shiver, and all the like. There's so many different names. I might not remember. I remember JCY or JK Easy, whatever his name was from before. One of the better Genjis, and it seems like playing that Genji is something many actually play in the first place. So we'll find out if Falconberry can be okay, and it's hopefully we get into this match shortly. So let's ask for some updates real quick from Team Ubi server, and we'll find out very soon if we can get into our second match of the night. So tomorrow we'll show you guys again our schedule for tomorrow. Looking at that back one more time, and we do have Nagi and Meme Cord gonna be playing off against each other, and then Override versus whoever wins this. And then the two winners of those two games gonna be keeping on for the third and final match of tomorrow's broadcast. And then on the next day, on Wednesday, we will find out whoever is going to be filling up that lower bracket down here. And on Thursday, we'll be going into the lower bracket semifinals as well as the lower bracket finals to find out who will be playing all the way back on Friday in the grand finals itself. The 10,000 peso prize pool, 6K going to be going to our winners, 3K to our runner-up, and 1K to our third place. So it is going to be a way to reward all our players so far, to reward what they have done for the scene, for the New Wave Invitationals. And sure, it has become a little bit of a podcast right now, but I think we are going to be getting ready to go. Also, we do have a little bit of a token for our players, that's for sure. All of our players in New Wave Invitationals will receive a little bit of something from us. We can't say what it is exactly, because it's not going to happen until, well, everything is more normal and people can actually go out. But all I can say is I just want to give them a way to remember their time, their months, their weeks. It was 12 weeks, I believe, the regular season. And then you add in the All-Star weekend itself, and now we have the playoffs. So it's around 3 months of Overwatch action in the local scene. But enough about that. It's time to get into the game and into Lijiang Tower. Thank you guys for all your patience. Thank you guys for everything that's been going on. And if there was any audio issues right there, I do apologize. But we are going to be getting into our first game, first map in this second game. So, a little bit of a solo cast for me. My usual ride, that's what we do every single time. And well, we are going to be getting into Gardens. Hopefully, we can get Rebirth a little later on. We gave him this casting gig because we want to hear his voice at least one more time before the playoffs ends. And this is going to be his debut. And good luck, have fun to both sides. So here we go. Exactly what they expected from Cakes and Uber server. Farah Mercy versus Farah Mercy. Time to get into the air. Time to see how this is all going to unfold. And time to find out who can actually take this win. So we see Oily Beer gonna be playing the Pharah. Usually it's on the Junkrat for this projectile specialist, but against Mercy and her caliber, you gotta be a little more careful. A lot of respect right there. Beautiful direct hit to start things off. Action spilling over to the point as well. And Roxy Lalonde there with a few hammer swings here and there to get the clock on. Cockenberg gonna be going for the brawl. Shiver in the meantime, actually falling on down. A little too ambitious, trying to get that kill. And Uba server swinging things in their favor. Ferd gonna be coming on back. Ice Too Big is his name, and Ferd is his new identity here. Uba server with the advantage. They get the push. And they get takedown after takedown after takedown. So here we go again. It is a Genji meta through and blue. And as Sacred has to go for the reset, Uba server needs to be very, very careful. As Mercy did fall, this now gives an advantage here for the side of Team Case. But Cockenbear holding the line. And even though it's Santa Pack's their usual main sack, Cockenbear is doing a good job so far to keep things up in the first place. Ryan Diva though versus Ryan Zarya. Alex C trying to play that Diva to deal with the Pharah on the other side. But they have to play the ground as well. Mercy now brought back to the fold. And Uba server is getting a lot of momentum to start things off. So it really goes to show it is going to be a good setup here. And in is going to be time for Fatalist to try and get that nano boost on Shiver. In the meantime, with a few hits here and there, Roxy Lalonde on the board as well. And this is Mercy right now getting another tag on back. Cakes now with the flip, and if you guys had any issues earlier on with the audio, it's all fixed now. Sorry about that. Couldn't hear my own monitoring there, but don't worry about it. It's all good in the hood for the game itself. So in any case, Sleep Dart now will connect. Oil Beer has to get the hell out of there. Gravity Surge is also available here from Milsons, and North Tower Approach is the best thing Uba server can do right now. They're playing both Reinhardt and Zarya. They cannot contest against that Ryan Diva with the Pharah to boot on the bridgeway unless they want to get booped off. And in a scenario like this, Gravity Surge now going to be going on through into the blade as well as that barrage. So it seems like for Uba server, they decide to whip out the kitchen sink and more to clean up on Isle Lijiang Tower Gardens, and they do all they can to get those kills. Hey, don't worry about that, guys. And yeah, don't worry about that, guys. Again, don't forget that there's a delay. It's my bad there whatsoever, and it's all good. Funny stuff, funny stuff. I really didn't notice. It's my bad there. Anyway, here we go again. X-Fatal is going to be pushing forward. Beautiful stun there into the self-destruct as well. And Team Cakes right now looking for the push just a little more. For now, though, Resurrection going to be coming online. Blackbeard in the meantime going for that one and more. Nano Boost is available here for Fatalist, and the Rock Barrage comes on through. Oily Beer is making it rain. And there we go with 3 kills on the board here for Team Cakes. Resurrection, though, used up there, I believe. Not really going to happen. Not really going to help out too much. But Uba server losing at that point, but they do have a lot of progress on board. Anyway, though, seems like for Team Cakes, it is still gonna be a match, still gonna be a fight here. And Mr. Rebirth seems like he is back and ready to go. But let's talk about this upcoming fight first. Nano Boost is available. Oily Beer up in the air, also getting that information. And a beautiful direct hit onto Mercy already. Should stem the tide of Uba server, but they are not giving up whatsoever. They are going for the push. Onto the point they go already. Roxy Lalonde with a charge onto the east side. And any Roxy fans in the chat, making sure that you are represented, because it's 2 kills here for Cakes again. Ferd gonna get on the board, getting that blade on that. And the best thing Uba server can right now do would be going for that reset to make sure they have the blade for the next fight. So Rebirth, are you there? Are you back, friendo? Are we good to go?
Yes, I am back, friendo.
So what's been going on here? 82% and counting. One last fight for Team Cakes, and they will take this point and more. Phyllis, though, in the meantime, Nano Boost gonna be available here, and maybe, just maybe, that Nano McCree can hold a candle against the upcoming Nano Blade. Uba server, though, has decided to whip out that Lucio, and into the stun, into the Nano Boost onto the McCree, but Shiver cannot hold a candle there. Ferd right now has gotten 2 so far. Milsons with the Graviton Surge, and Uba server breathing it out thanks to the Genji. But the fight isn't over yet. Sacred with the backstab coming in from behind. Cockenbear in the meantime with a few hammer swings here and there yet again, and Team Cakes is falling at the seams. Uber server back into the fold, back into the fight, but they haven't secured this one yet. Oily Beer will go down there. There we go with Fatals getting one kill onto Bear, but seems like the tempo has changed into Uber server's flavor, and it seems like they are all over the point and even catch out at Moira.
Need to make this the last push already. If they can hold it, actually.
Yeah. It's time for a little bit of a hold. It's time for a last chance, a last stand yet again. And Blackbeard right now with the resurrection one more time. Here comes the diva though of Alexid getting in position. And the self-destruct is available, but it's disengaged right there from the blue side. Bear right now. Hammer swings are abound. It seems like desperation gonna be into play because Alexid with a bomb on the left, and it does catch out Mercy there, who swaps over to the Tracer. A pretty standard type composition here from Uber server without that tank line, but it's Shiver right now getting on the board, and this is the Shiv hitting on in the back. Ice pick in hand. Shiver has gotten those kills, and Team Cakes will win it out 100-99.
Quite unfortunate because usually in a fight like that, you're gonna. It's just basically it comes down to which team knows how to target call and where the discipline of actually following that target call comes into play.
And can you say that, especially as you were able to hop into the scrims, do you think any of these two teams have the edge on target call and communication?
For Ubi's server, it's getting there. Not the best, but it's getting there. However, for Cakes, seeing how they scrim, not really sure about their comms, but seeing how they scrim, I think they're also getting the hang of it.
And you know, especially in Overwatch, this is a game where communication is absolutely key. If you're unable to communicate with your team, it just becomes so difficult because there's 6 of you and you need to make sure your ultimates are in the same economy, you're keeping things up in the flow, and Oily Beer has whipped it out. It's time, guys. So for Cakes, you have these different flavors. You go to a cake shop and get some chocolate truffle, you can get some caramel, you get some black forest, but this is your chiffon right here. This is Oily Beer's completely comfort pick. This is Team Cakes with the Junkrat, and Night Market is theirs for the taken with all these fireworks already flying off into the distance.
I just got hungry for a second. I'm a sweet food.
Wake up, Rebirth. We got Overwatch to cast. We are now in Skyrim, and we are on Lijiang Tower itself. Roxy Londido, as well as Bear brawling right there. Far Strike now coming on through, but Fatalist is ready with that Nano Boost and looking to make sure he's going to get the angle on. Shiver's time to shine into the Nano Boost here. Can he get the blade in time, though? He does get rid of Mercy. It's time for the cut already onto the bubble. Pop goes the Weasel, though, as Millstones gets a kill in return. Ubi server keeping the tempo on up, but it's just not happening. Cakes even with the resurrection right there, right then. And they are holding really well here on Night Market so far.
Fortunate that Cakes got Nano Blade, but Shiver was actually purpled. However, even with that unfortunate Nano Blade, they still managed to pull it through.
Yeah, they were able to figure it out in the best ways, and here we go again though with a little bit more of the brawl. That Junkrat though of Oily Beer, someone to watch out for. Grab the surge now from Milsons into the Deadeye from Mercy, and she's trying to go for a lock-on, but Shiver with the bait and switch into the deflect there. But boom goes the Dynamite, this time Alexid causing the cave-in. Gonna get that self-destruct on yet again, and it seems like it's a countdown for destruction. Cakes a while ago with a little bit of warm-up. This time they are really hot to handle, and this is just a sweet approach here from the blue hand side.
You know how I just realized that Cakes play? They basically go a comp where there's so many bombs that Uber server has to be wary of where the bombs are coming from.
Yeah, there's no way. There's so much trash damage from the Junkrat, and they need to be very, very careful because that Genji is looking for execute after execute. But Oily Beer is still looking so scary. They're one of the best Junkrat mains in the PH scene. You gotta say he's a one-trick Junkrat who has a little bit more under the belt. But Mercy's now back on the Pharah. Goes for the shot there, gets rid of Blackbeard. Someone needs to touch. There is almost no time. And Bills is back on his comfort Roadhog. But the blade is in the hands of Shiver. Into the Nano Boost we go. Cakes right now gets a cut on to Sacred there. And onto a second one, carving that Piggy into a little bit of a roast pig instead. Mercy now trying to fly on through one more time, gets caught out by Oily Beer, and what a shot from the Junkrat. This is Cakes proving to themselves, this is why we are the 3rd seed, this is why we belong in the upper tier, and this is why we are in the first wave playoffs. They will take the first map in this best of 3.
The Farah pick of Merge was actually a good pick to counter Junkrat. However, if you fly too close to the ground, you're touching the lava for too long already.
Completely agree. And oh my, grabbing the surge here from Ferd as well as the rocket barrage from Mercy. So Uba server able to take that play of the game, but you know that's something they kind of messed up a little bit on, a little bit of an overcommitment. And it seems like in terms of ult economy, every ult counts in a close matchup like this.
Yes, I completely agree because if everyone presses Q, it's basically having $0 already for your next round.
That's true. That's true. There is no money in the bank, and they just need to be a little more careful there. But night market, a completely different story. What's it to you, Rebirth? Was that the oily beer rat back in full force, or what?
Yes, pretty much. You can see that he was playing in the point like most of the time. And basically, he sent his team like forward to the outside where they would be forced to fight there. So the mere fact that OID is just staying in point, just shooting the grenades from point onto the outside, it's already causing ruckus. And since the point is like a closed map, it's easier for Oily to send those concussion grenades to opponents who try to tamper with him.
Yeah, it's so much spam. And do you think Uber server could have done something a little better there? I did like the rotations, especially that Graviton Surge play, but it seems like they just didn't really have the tools that they needed to turn things around.
Honestly, they just have to mix it up. Like they can't go head on against a Junkrat because even a Farah may have trouble dealing with the Junkrat.
It's
But
so difficult sometimes. Yeah, but
yeah, but if you go from behind, maybe flank, that's gonna happen. Then it will be a good one.
completely agree. So as we are gonna be getting into our second map, it's gonna be hybrid time again. But since you weren't here earlier on, I gotta ask. Looking at Cakes, looking at Uber server, any players to potentially watch out for coming into this game?
Well, for cake side, I would say Shiver and Oily Beer. They're such a strong DPS duo because Shiver is basically the distraction because Genji. Then Oily Beer is the spammer because Junkrat. As for Ube, I would say Milsons is someone to look out for because his Roadhog is really really good. I think he reached GM, I believe, right?
Yeah, he has all the way back. Then he was able to make it so that he, I think he was one of the first GM players in the PH scene. His Roadhog is honestly unparalleled, even though there were lots of many contenders. He got Matt Javelin, you got Lone, you got so many
Yeah,
more. It feels like it all comes back to Milsons in the end, right? He just has something about that Road Dog, which is just so scary to handle in the first place.
that's true. But yeah, for Milsons, he's a good player, like a GM player. However, this is a team game, and it can't be solely carried by one person. So those are the people to look out for. But honestly, if Ube wants to like have a chance, they really need to step up as a team.
Yeah, completely agree. When you're able to step up like that, you do need to have just a little bit more in reserve. You just need to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on in the game. And things like over ulting are things that Uber server kind of fall on sometimes, but I do believe from them that they have the potential, as we keep saying, they always have the potential to do great. Because you see it in flashes, right, Rebirth? It feels like it's a blink and you'll miss it moment from Uber server. They are a great team when they can be, but those moments aren't really as consistent as you would like.
Yeah, that is completely true because we already saw how Ube is like how they dominated in some games before, but lately, I think they're having some internal issues. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hopefully everything is all good there. And for Uber server, they are gonna be on the pre-site, but it seems like it is going to be Kings Row for our next map, as per usual. What do we expect, right? If we put Kings Row on a map, we'll always see it. But any thoughts coming into the specific game? We know this is gonna be a potential Farah versus Junkrat show again. And do you think that's gonna be a big factor for this upcoming match?
Um, for this map, Junkrat is a really strong pick, especially for the first point because of the choke. But Far also can be played. However, Far can only be played or is optimal during the first and second points. As for Junkrat, all 3 points. You can actually play Junkrat all 3 points.
It's a,
So
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
the third point, need a different strat to get rid of Junkrat.
Yeah, maybe just play that Junkrat, surprise the opposition as much as possible. It's something Cakes can really do, and I feel like they're really that only that team that can do it. They have a complete specialist on the hero, and it feels it. They kind of feel like the old Houston Outlaws, right? They have someone who can play Junkrat, then they should kind of play it. But in any case, we are going to be getting into the game itself. It is gonna be Uber server now on the offensive versus the Uber server on the defensive rather versus the offensive that is Cakes. And let's get it on. Let's get it done. This is gonna be game number 2 out of 3, and this is the first wave playoffs, match 2, game 2.
I really wish we might see another sim strat because I'm craving for creativity right now.
Maybe that can be something we will see, but it is gonna be Uber server on the defensive. We'll try to figure out what's up with the scoreboard, why it doesn't really want to change per se after every map, but I think it's a swap bug that the game already has. But hey, it's not really anything you gotta keep an eye for. Up on top, you got your teams. Uber server on the blue hand side versus Cakes, and Shiver is on the Widowmaker, looking for a little bit of the entry yet again. There we go, Rebirths. Uber server versus Cakes. One more go, one more chance. It's Cakes now on match points. And Mercy is not going to be playing the Pharah. Onto the McCree we go. And I like how Cakes has the configuration of the Widowmaker and the Junkrat. So they're basically saying, okay, if you play the Pharah, we have a Widow. If you're playing the McCree, we have the Junkrat. And look how quick Cakes gets the collapse on. They destroy the opposition in one fell swoop. There we go with a 35-second capture already. Onto 2 ticks, and it just was absolutely dominant from there. Cakes not missing a beat, and they will get the beatdown against the opposition again.
So the good thing about having a Junkrat is basically you have a lot of DPS potential, especially if you're facing against a Rhine comp. However, if you're facing, let's say, an Orisa Sigma, Junkrat may be a little difficult because they can eat or just absorb your damage.
Yeah, and seems like it's just gonna be a little bit of a struggle there, but here we go right now. Onto the corner, contest one more time. Shattered Souls will connect, and Blackbeard will let the Kamehameha rip. It's Coalescence trying to tear on through for trying to stay alive there, but that's gonna be the Genji falling on down, and Mercy is keeping the shots on one more time. This is the McCree trying to get some damage on, but it's just not happening here for Uber server so far. A really good play here from Roxy Lalonde. That's the Reinhardt keeping out in front, and Oily Beer making sure grenades come on through from the side.
Yeah, you can't really go head on face on against a Junkrat. You need to be creative on when you want to flank or off angle.
Yeah, you need to find a way to really get the catch on, especially since he's just really rooted on the ground. But Oily Beer is the one playing creatively. Look at that one. Onto the high ground we go. It's time for the Riptire. And I think for Team Uber server, they are just prepared for a Junkrat to come on now. You wouldn't be surprised that Cakes is actually gonna whip out Oily Beer in a playoff setting. It's usually the composition of Shiver and Blackbeard together, but when you see that Junkrat on the other side, it's just too domineering sometimes. It's way too much grenades and way too much damage coming your way.
I mean, the recent drops of Junkrat actually made him a little more dangerous in comp, so I wouldn't be surprised with this composition. Ooh, nice Riptire.
Yeah, he actually catches that Sacred there, but Uber server finally getting the combo that they've been looking for. That Nano Blade is out and about, and Uber server right now having the advantage finally on the defense. But this is a little bit of a problem here, Rebirth. If they can only whip it out with the Genji Blade, if they can only surprise and survive on this third point, this is gonna be a very, very long defense that Uber server needs to win every single time.
Yeah, and that Nano Blade isn't really easy to charge up unless you play super aggressively.
Yeah, it's gonna be so difficult, and we'll see if Milsons can actually go for that Graviton Surge this time. It's Uber server right now, trying to make sure their Zarya makes an opening, but Alexseed with the chop! And here we go with Roxy Lalonde getting the shatter on yet again. Big bomb into the backline. Blackbeard in the meantime with the Coalescence there, and Team Cakes from a little bit of a stagger into a showdown one more time. Shiver with the cleanup right there. One more go, and that's a team kill from Team Cakes.
That was a really good move. Maybe the game-changing move right there.
Yeah, it opens things up, Rebirth, and now it's time for the potential blade. Shiver cutting down Bear in his prime. Karna gonna be sticking on the left side. Nilsson's trying to hop on around, but I really think that the best thing Uber Server can right now bring in that Roadhog, because they need a little more damage after all of this. Reaper timed here for Ferd, though. Ice Tubig trying to survive into this one. Uber Server in the meantime keeping the shots on. That's the lifesteal at work, but Shiver with that blade. Bear with a charge, catching out Blackbeard, but it's not enough. And Team Cakes even better. 4:02 on the clock.
That was not really a strong performance by Ube. Honestly, they could have like shifted some tank heroes maybe, because if you're not really comfortable with the Rhyme, then you are able to flex onto other tanks. Because okay, let's say I think Cakes pulled this off before during Invitational where they had Roadhog and Azaria, I think. Two off tanks, or was it Sigma? Yeah, Sigma and Zarya. So two off tanks, and they just have one puny shield, but with a lot of damage. Honestly, that can be a viable comp, especially since Milsons is like one of the best Roadhog players. So yeah, if you don't really need to stick the Nerfa there,
Yeah, it's time. I think it's time. Uber server is kind of in a do or die situation. Even though
like that.
they won't be dying anytime soon, there is still a second chance, of course, if they get dropped to the lower brackets. You still want to stay on the upper bracket. You still want to play for that one map bye on the grand finals, and just having that buffer makes such a big difference, Rebirth. So if this is time for Uber server to whip out the comfort picks, it is time. And we have seen the Milsus Mercy show time and time again impress and destroy. So we'll find out if Uber server can make this attack happen. Cakes in the meantime defending with a double projectile composition with a Mercy Moira to boot. Interesting comp. What do you think about this one for Team Cakes, Rebirth?
That's a lot of choke damage coming in from Cakes, and oh, Uber already taking Shiver. That's what I'd like to see from Nelsons.
That's exactly what Uber server needs to do. Pharah, Junkrat, even though it's a lot of trash damage, it doesn't really secure you those kills unless you keep taking that damage in the first place. Ferd, though, trying to brawl against the Junkrat, avoiding the steel trap, but oh no! That's the Mercy getting caught there, but Ferd with a beautiful headshot to boot. And Milsons is here. Milsons is back, and he is on his road dog going for a rampage yet again. He's out in front already, keeping up the momentum. Zarya, road dog composition. This is all damage here from Team Uber server, and they are pressing forward with no fear whatsoever. I think even though it's the Pharah and the Junkrat getting free damage on Rebirth, they are just killing them every single time with a beautiful latch there from Milsons to boots.
They're like, you have a Junkrat? Okay, fine. We will whip out our two off tanks that also deal the same amount of damage.
You know,
Taken
especially
in a very bad position though.
yes, you gotta say, when you see the Zarya against a Junkrat, it's just absolutely beautiful to see that big beam glowing. And the Roadhog doesn't really care. Even though the Riptide is gonna come, he can just go for the vape session and destroy everyone. But this is better for Cakes. Second point, even stronger here for the Junkrat, especially coming into the third. You made this point early on, Rebirth. As the map gets tighter and tighter, it gets stronger and stronger for Team Cakes on their defense.
Yeah, but knowing the momentum of Uber server, if the Pharah gets picked up like this, like Milsons is already going fishing for the Pharah, then Cake's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Oh no! What a spot! Oily Beer taking a little too much there in the pub, and here we go with the Hoo Hog. Gonna be into play Shatter. Too late from Roxy Lalonde, but Mercy gonna be able to get that takedown, and this is the air show we have been waiting for from Mercy. One more shot onto the Mercy, can't do it. Doesn't really get it though. Unfortunately, Shiver gonna be backing on out like Peter Pan and Pendy used to do, and this is just Team Cakes falling apart as Uber server bringing on such an impressive offense. Shots not keeping on coming. Ferd gonna be making sure everything is a-okay there, and rally here from Sacred to add in for good measure. Team Uber server right now getting that second point after the trade onto the two Pharahs, but it really just goes to show for Uber server they can be a lot more potent on the attack rather than the defense. This is where I really see them shine, especially on King's Row offensive, and this is where they can keep up the momentum. Milsons though with the hook. Here we go right now with the Riptide as well as the Coalescence. It's gonna be a clang of the chains, and it is gonna be time for the imprisonment of Uber server back into their spawn. But what a turnaround there. Finally, Team Cakes getting the defense that they have been looking for. And it is going to be Fatalist looking for a little bit more on the Resurrection tab. And it's a little bit of a reprieve here. Now, Shiver does have the Rocket Barrage in hand. You can easily let it rain to begin with. Mercy gonna have the same kind of conundrum here. And in an instance like this, we'll see if Uber Server then keep things up. They have a better time back right now for a little bit more, so they can have a good second round with the advantage, but they are going to try things out with the Graviton Surge. Now, this is a little bit dicey for Bear because he has no energy, but what a bubble there, catching it out on Mercy. Perfect timing. Milson's also with the Hool Hog, and Uber Server has opened things up. They finally get the opening that they're looking for. They finally get on through to the other side, and time is ticking here for Team Cakes. This is just like a pastry shop, unable to get the refrigeration on, and it's just an open door approach here for Team Cakes so far. They are really giving it their all, but they are falling on apart. Axie in the meantime with the charge there, and Ferd and Blackbeard getting those kills yet again. Mercy though up on top, catches out Olivier first. Perfect target right there to get the takedown on again, and the Coalescence is in the clutches of Blackbeard one more time. It's a big beam to come on through. Blackbeard has gotten two so far for Team Cakes. And the Moira is an easy mode ultimate right there. Coalescence in their hands. Healing and damage. Face full approach onto Karna. And this is just easy tidings here for Cakes. One ultimate making a difference. And it's really surprising it's that Moira one making that so.
Moira is basically just DPS Moira when you have Coalescence. It's not really for the heals, it's just DPS Moira.
Yeah, and a little bit of a replay right here, seeing that bubble from Team Uber Server, opening things up, and then the Hool Hog to boots. But yet again, it feels like it's the same thing, Rebirth. Uber Server kind of over-ulting. Now, in hindsight, you kind of don't really need the Hool Hog there, but it is one of those ultimates you can throw out here and there. So for Uber Server, again, a little more careful on that regard, and they can go a long way. Valkyrie and the Hool Hog this time, and Alexine gonna get pushed away yet again. Oilybeard though with the Riptide catching out one, and make that a two. Farah Mercy, no space here to work with. Grab the surge to boots, and this is the Junkrat show. We are just living in it. Team Cakes making sure they are gonna get their sweet ending very soon.
Mercy needs to be wary already that the third point for King's Row, not the best for Afara. Because there's really no place for you to hide, honestly, and we already have heroes that can climb up there, like where the Junkrat hit a while ago.
Yeah, a little bit of a replay right there with the Junkrat catching out the Mercy, and this has to be Team Uber Server trying to decide if they are going to keep things up. Now, they will have the Graviton Surge and Barrage combo yet again. Rally right now from Sacred to boot, going to be really good for them. But look at this. Shiver is playing Metal Gear Solid. He's being very sneaky, and he's looking to be an agent in behind. Deadeye now being primed, but Milson's quick reaction right there, and that's going to be a kill from Milson's to boot. Ferd now with a kill as well. Here comes Team Uber Server trying to destroy the opposition, and one last go, and Mercy gets the boop onto Alexi. This is finally an opening here. Rocket Barrage to come on through. Shiver will be surviving though, coming in from spawn. Oilybeard also getting a grenade in his face, but it's still not going to be enough. Uber Server running away with it, and they will get the capture with 2 minutes to spare.
So it goes to show that you don't have to play the meta. If you have a specific hero you're really good at, just play that.
Absolute comfort right now from Team Uber Server, and it pays off in dividends. 2 minutes on the clock. They have a second chance to finish up King's Row, and the wheels keep on turning on a map like this, guys. It really feels like for Cakes that they were very surprised to see that Roadhog. No respect to the history of Overwatch right there. You got the represents. When you see Milson's on that Roadhog, you cannot play in front of him.
Yes, you're gonna definitely need that Ana or Brig, but most preferably that Ana to shut him down.
Completely agree. Like for Uber Server, they will have, well, the rally to boot from Sacred to give that armor on, but one Ana grenade hurts a Roadhog so heftily. Even though you get damage reduction from the Take a Breather, that healing is the only way he can really play a tank because he has a hefty frame, he has big belly, and he gives a lot of ult charge. So this time, Uber Server is gonna be looking to play that same old composition, but on the side of Cakes, it's Ash time. Can Shiver make this work? We'll find out if Dynamite value is gonna be key here for the second map. Scope on in. Farah Mercy. Scouted dots, and a little bit of information yet again. Team Cakes gonna be defending out in front with the Ryan Zarya, Junkrat right behind them. But the hook is big from Milsons. Out of positions goes Alexine, and he will go down to the hand of Ferd. An opening has been made again, and it feels like Rebirth. Milsons is one of those door stoppers you put on, and you leave it on for 10 years, and it's still the same old condition. Every single time, he can make an opening, and Uber Server is just all over the opposition here. Oliver trying to survive onto the point itself, but it just doesn't matter. Cakes has fallen apart there.
No, that's because Mills is playing Hog, and the fact that Cakes is not playing Arana, it might actually be their downfall.
And this might be the real crux of this situation. And this is now a minute and 11 left on the clock. Hook right now onto Alexine again. And it's just a blink and you'll miss it moment. He yoinks the Reinhardt away. And that is the biggest freaking pick Uber server can get. It's not because the Reinhardt is easy to kill. No, it's because he is the one who provides the tanks. And Mercy can get free damage on every single time. Coalesce is still going to be in the play from Blackbeard. We have seen its effects earlier on. Hulag right now to respond in kind. But Milsons desperately needs a pocket play. And oh no, the repair back doesn't connect onto Milsons. It goes to Cockenbear instead. 42 seconds left, but this is the turnabout here from Team Cakes. And we might see a standard chokehold with the Rip Tower coming on through. Oily Beer blows things up, but Milsons survives in the front line so far.
Team Uber needs to be really wary already that Team Cakes has their grab. And if the grab is played correctly, they might actually just be forced to C9.
Oh no, Ferg though with the blade, and the Gravity Surge comes on through, catches out Karna as well. And surprise, surprise, Team Cakes getting the flip on yet again. Momentum right now in Team Cakes' side. And even though Uber server did get that point, they would still love to get a little bit more out of this one. 356 is so difficult, but Mercy is sneaky, as you say. Has to go for the touch. Will she disengage? No, she's up on top of the Rocket Barrage to blow herself up. Oh my god. I love the outlook there, but it's not the best decision. Ferg gonna be coming on through yet again. Uber server right now in the face of adversity, but the noble sacrifice Rebirth is making a difference here. Alexid with a shatter not gonna pan out. Grabs the surge time from the Zarya of Cockenbear, and Uber server will survive to live to fight another clash.
That noble sacrifice. We truly appreciate your service.
Yeah, I gotta say, it really feels that way, and oh my god, finally, X-Fatalist has whipped out the Ana. Now, this is the interesting part about Team Cakes. They have one of the best Ana players in the
And
league.
yet,
And yet they didn't play it. So, at least this time, they're gonna make sure that they have a handle of Milsons and his Hulhog. It's Uber server though pushing forward. They are trying to make sure they can get the second point. And this Kings Row game looking absolutely exciting, but Oily Beer has already gotten two. It's high time for the Hulhog to come from Milsons. But where is the nade? No, it's a Coalescence though to start things off. Blackbeard trying to get the beam on through yet again. And there we go with the charge one more time. Alexid gonna get that cleanup. My name is Team Cakes, and it is gonna be the sweet ending we're looking for. But maybe it's time to franchise, and maybe it's time to see them take this match points.
So around roughly 4 minutes on the clock for Team Cakes. That's good. That's a pretty huge amount of time, honestly, for the attack. And Team Uben needs to be really careful in how they use their ults, position, and not die.
Exactly, not dying is the best part. But you know who has been getting those kills? Look at that. Just look at that stat. 20 kills for Milsons, 12 assists, 14k damage. He has taken the mantle of DPS and he is running away with it with his Road Dog. But this is the question right now, guys. Is it little too late for Uber server? Because last time we saw them on the defense, they had the same time back for the first points and they faltered really quickly. This time, they are going to have the Road Dog, sure. But their composition, it feels like it's so attack-centric, right, Rebirth?
Yeah, because in defense, you need the shield. You really need the shield, or else you're just gonna let the attacking side, who even has spawn advantage, just take space.
There's no staying power here from Uber server and in terms of positioning, so they need to go with the staying power of damage. It's kill or be killed, and it is time to see if they can beat the Predators here. But Shiver now looking for a little bit of the entry. Widowmaker yet again. We don't see the Widow too much now into the meta for reasons in particular. Seeing that Genji back in the fold, double shield still being a thing, and basically Ashe just being better for those compositions. But still in the hands of the best players, that Sniper can get that one hit potential. And that really that muscle memory hurting because of that later charge time. But look at this already. Uber server has found what hurts them the most. Fire grenade onto Milsons. He has to hide behind the black taxi right there. It's still gonna be looking pretty real rather than fake, but Cockenbear and Milsons getting the kills that they need yet again. The tank line has been doing so much, but this is perfect here. from the side of Team Cakes. They're going for trades, and they are not just getting trades, they are getting these kills. Blackbeard right now in the dead of night, getting takedown after takedown. Milsus has to get on the way, but will not survive in the hands of Alexite and Shiver. And what a turnabout there. Cakes with a last stand, with a last hurrah, getting the frags that they need to turn things around for now.
They didn't gain the kills, but it's not that quick, and spawn advantage. It's just, there.
Yeah, and oh my god, they even lose the Brigitte, so this might be even losing the Pharah and the Mercy. Yeah, Uba's server falling to the hand of Shiver, and this is again the McCree keeping on with the momentum one more time. We've seen some savage plays from the Deadeye, we've seen some really good plays from the Pistoliero, but this is just Shiver getting 5 in a row. Can he get the ace here? Clean it up onto Milsons. There we go with the shutdown at the last moment. Milsons, come on, bro. Just give him the highlight, man. It's not gonna happen. Uba server still survives into the fronts with the Roadhog.
I mean, Roadhog, dude. Even in season 1, we're all still afraid of Roadhog. Oh,
No fear whatsoever. And the Junkrat just gonna be disengaging there. But right now, Uba's server is running out of space. Rebirth. What's the plan coming into this next fight?
honestly, the only thing they have is just the grab and the fire barrage. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, they are gonna have
But
to
look at
figure
this.
that. I'm checking that. It's a whole hog available here. Staircase right now here for Uba server. Graviton surge into play. And will he go for the rocket barrage? No, coming in from behind. Shiver with the surprise. And this time, Uba server not using the ultimates when they needed to the most. They vanish. 100 years from now, maybe the avatar will come back. But this is just Team Cake celebrating with the Repsire. And they will take this match point as well and move on into the second round of the upper brackets.
Quite unfortunate. This is like the perfect opportunity to say that proactivity is really needed. So basically, you need to know when you should be pushing forward, when you should be using your ults, and when you should just, fall back and let them chill.
It just goes to show. Shiver with the surprise. He had the hot hand earlier on with the 5k. This time, he just surprises from the subway and makes it happen. Wednesday again, Ube. Tomorrow, Cakes. Okay, no worries, no worries. Cakes one interview also. So we're just gonna be giving them some messages right there. A little bit of time, of course, for Team Ube server to figure things out. But Team Cakes moving on to the second round. And Rebirths, what a game that was on Kings Row.
Yeah, definitely indeed. It already shows also the Team Cakes, the DPS. They are more creative in their flanks rather than Team Ube, who just face forward, just goes head on. So that's what actually differentiates a good DPS from how do you say this?
A
A
great one.
better,
Yeah, a great
yeah, great.
one. That's exactly it. The creativity, the uniqueness, really making a difference right there. And shiver, 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 sending some chills down my spine. And it seems like for Team Cakes, they are going to be moving on to the next round in the upper bracket, and we'll be facing off against Team Overwine. So we got our second round match as for tomorrow. It's Wamanagi and Meme Court versus Overwine and Cakes. And at the start of the day, did you think a bracket like this would be unfolding?
Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
what do you
not
think?
really sure. This
Uh, well, any thoughts? Seeing that Cakes versus Uba server matchup.
mm,
Uh, it really felt like it could have gone either way. And for Uba server, they really are so strong on the offensive, but their composition, maybe their player pool right now, doesn't have that anchor
yeah,
that they're looking for, especially on Kings Row. Like on control, you can excuse it because it's back and forth, but on a defense, literally on any other map type, it's just so different. And for Uba server, they have such a strong offensive composition that doesn't really pan out too much on the other side, right?
now get it. However, you should also take into consideration that they're missing their main tank actually. Santo Pablo is not like present at the moment, and that was their main tank player. I don't think Cocumber like mains tank also. I think he's a DPS player,
Yeah.
as I recall.
Yeah, he does. He likes to play that Echo. And as are we are gonna be getting Roxy in for our next interview. We're just making sure everything is crystal clear, and we believe that yes, Cakes and Washed Up Homie, Cakes will be moving on, of course, to that second round. But it's Uba server versus Washed Up Homies on that first round on Wednesday. This is gonna be even more difficult for Team Uba server, the hardest road got even harder because that's the second seed down below, meeting them in pitch combats. And yeah, like a lot of work needs to be done by Uba server, basically to find that anchor. That's all they need to find, and I think the rest is gold and the rest is noise. But yeah, for Team Cakes, this is such a beautiful victory for them because they're able to avoid such a strong seed also down below. And the odds are not going to be in favor of Uber Server, that's for sure. But anything can happen here in the New Wave Invitationals. And I think we are going to be getting into our interview. Rebirth, have you gotten Roxy in to the channel? Okay, seems like we
Yes.
are ready to go. And hello, hello to Roxy Lalonde. What a great name to always say. And congratulations winning it at Team Cakes with a 2-0. How did you guys prepare for this first day of the playoffs?
Um, oh my lord, a bit was kind of complicated, because Stereo had like problems, so we had to like bring in one of our players who wasn't able to actually easily play because they had like carpal tunnel or something.
Oh,
So, but
painful.
it's okay. But we managed to actually go through it because we practiced a bit. We still have some sort of communication, and at least I remembered how to call out.
It's
I,
always great to
the
hear.
comms were so loud.
Welcome
Uh,
back. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Team Cake. So, against Uber Server, anything you prepared for in general? We know Uber Server is one of those specialist teams, and did you guys like do your research before anything else?
oh, Shiver told me about like how they had like a good Farah and Hog, but I didn't expect them. But I don't remember or remember or know that they were going it with a Zarya. So I was going. So I went myself Zarya since I've been practicing Zarya a bunch as well. Since it's very easy to get uh, to damage them with no shield. So we took advantage of that. So and that's it. Just tried to take advantage of the fact that they had no shield. So we went with the Ryan Zarya.
Yeah, really good call. Really good call. And you guys are gonna be facing off against Team Overwind tomorrow. But we had a little bit of a break between the regular season and was a playoffs. So what did you guys do in the interim? Because we gave you guys a lot of time to prepare after the All Star Week, of course, as we were trying to set things up. And how was Team Cakes? Because as I know, you guys are really Cakes and Uber Server are those community centered teams, and how did you guys spend your time together, basically?
Uh, um, some of us like played with each other on other games, so I guess there's some sort of like cohesion on there.
Mhm.
But we haven't, to be frank, haven't been playing as much with Overwatch. Well, half of us haven't, but like the other half have been playing it a lot, but not with each other. Some of us have, uh, but we still have that like understanding with each other and like the group coordination at some level.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you guys are all together. Go Rebirth. Any questions for Roxy? Roxy Lalonde. That's not how I want to say it every time. Like an announcer. It is the fabulous Roxy Lalonde. Go Rebirth. Any?
I give that a 9 out of 10.
I know, I
Okay.
know, I know.
I give
Uh,
it a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
alright.
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
Rebirth.
Honestly, my question for you is, since Overwhelm's gonna be is gonna be your opponent tomorrow, do you plan to do any like research or any preparations maybe?
I think my other teammates know more than I do, honestly. I think they. I rely on my more our teammates, specifically Shiver. Shout out Shiver for actually knowing and looking into the things. But as far as I know, I'm relying on Shiver and my other teammates for that. As
So
far as
that
my preparation.
they are the researchers in short.
They are the researchers and also the carry,
Shiver did so much, especially in the last stretch. That McCree
the f-
5K
the
into.
flank,
Oh yeah,
the
that's what I want
flank.
to ask. What was the plan there? How would you guys get that flank on?
Oh, actually, our initial plan was to make sure to take advantage of any mistakes that they do in which of like of trickling in. since their win condition is to save up their ults and then kill us with all of it. So my plan was like to go in hard, try to trickle in as much people, try to get as much people as we can. And Shiver thought of like going to a long flank with an ult and a bubble. I tried to bubble him and he tried doing that and it worked out so far.
It was so close. The ultimates were coming. Luckily, Shiver surviving, I believe, with the bubble and the nano, if I remember correctly. But really goes to show you guys have a lot of teamwork there. And a new day tomorrow. You guys have up to two matches if you win it out on the first one. And good luck to you guys as you face up against Overwine. And if you win against them, you are gonna be able to move on to the upper bracket semifinals. And it's really amazing because after tomorrow, we will have one grand finals already ready all the way from Tuesday. Then we do the lower brackets on Wednesday and Thursday into the grand finals on Friday. But before we call it here, Roxy, any shoutouts you want from the fabulous Roxy Lalonde.
Shout out to my team for still holding it together even after so many weird complications that we've had. Um, Mommy Cakes, Momager, um, Early, as well as Shiver, DPS mains. Blackbeard for still keeping up despite his injury. Alex for subbing in, as well as Fatalist. And Stereo and Red Rose wasn't here today, but shout out to them as well for still sticking in.
Yeah, exactly.
And also shout out for Ubi Server. That was a fun match, not gonna lie.
It's a great Kings Row one. And what a way to end the day, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you, Roxy, for your time. It's time for us to wrap things up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Rebirths. Oh, where are we?
Good
So,
lord.
thank you, Roxy. You can hop on that now.
Thank you.
Thank you for
All
the
right.
interview.
Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me again. Because
Yeah,
my
you
team
are
can't.
the tribute all the time. But yeah, we'll see
I'm
you.
always a tribute.
Don't worry. You
All
probably
right.
if you win, do this again tomorrow. See you around.
All
Nice,
right.
nice.
See ya.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you for
around.
hearing me.
Bye.
Thank you for this. All right.
Yeah, of course. So okay, Rebirth. Ayan na. So, amazing games from today. Meep Court, Watch, and then Ubi Server and Cakes. Unfortunately, we didn't get washed up homies in Overwine. Those things happen at the damnest moments. But great two matches. And what can you say about our first day of playoffs?
Honestly, so much hype already because there were this back and forth moments already, especially in uh, Cakes versus Uber server match. Even if Meme Code versus Uwash like did not have back and forth the back and forth wins, there is still that hype already because the old meta is back, Nano Blade, and the return of Calamitus. However, we could not ignore the fact that Overwatch also performed really well, even against Calamitus. So there's that.
It's just so many good names and faces coming on back, and I gotta say, guys, the overwhelming like support for the new invitationals, so from the regular season to the All-Star week and now into the playoffs, has been absolutely stellar. In all honesty, we really didn't expect this kind of outpour, especially from the fans of multiple teams. And hey, at least we're back for one last ride, one last week for this inaugural season, and who knows what the future will bring. But it is 10,000 pesos on the line, guys. And this is only our first day. Tomorrow, we're going to be having even more matches. We're going to have those maps. We're going to have those schedules also up and running at our official socials. But Rebirths, I think this is going to be the last time we're going to be seeing you for the broadcast because we're going to get a good rotation of every single caster that we've had. So, anything you want to say about your experience in the New Wave Invitationals?
Well, honestly, I just want to say thank you also actually to all the people who are still following Overwatch up to this point. And honestly, the teams for like having the urge to at least improve, even if some of the teams I have helped or coach, like even if like I may have been a little strict, you guys still kept with it. And honestly, I would say that I am proud also that I have helped you guys, especially as teams, improve. Because honestly, just seeing teams improve already makes this worth it. So thank you for everything. And yeah, this was a really good league.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. And hey, we're not done yet with some Overwatch. We still got 4 days to go. 3 games tomorrow, 3 games on Wednesday, two on Thursday, and the big one, the Grand Canals, gonna be on Friday itself. It's 10K on the line, and it is gonna be high time for our remaining 7 teams to do battle one last time. The regular season was all practice and fun. This is for all the marbles, and this is the first wave playoffs. But this has been day one, and this is gonna be us signing off for tonight. I've been Dax, he's been Rebirth, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another edition of the First Wave Playoffs from the New Wave Invitational.